Thursday night at 6:55 p.m. We welcome you to the Shenandoah Esports Arena here at Shenandoah University, located in beautiful Winchester, Virginia. We have a good one here tonight for some Super Smash Bros. Ultimate NACE Varsity Premier gameplay up against Full Sail. I'm Ben Kincaid, joined by Chris Clayton, and frankly, we've got a pretty good game tonight.
It's Jersey Day back here. We're here to have a good time. It's going to be a fun night, an exciting night for SU, hopefully, as they continue their run of what has been an incredible NACE season so far. Still undefeated and looking to maintain that against a strong Full Sail team today. Yeah,
I mean, this SU squad undefeated 3-0 in a pretty tough group. As we take a quick look at what that one looks like, I mean, you can see how well SU has been playing. A win over FIU, beating the University of Delaware. They have the win over their near rivals, ODU, as well, sitting the only undefeated team in this group at 3-0.
Yeah, we've been saying it all year that this schedule for SU was super front-loaded. Well, now it's starting to take shape because every team in the top 5 has their loss to SU except for Full Sail, who they play today. So the group's starting to shape out a little bit how we expected. SU remaining undefeated through their toughest schedule yet has been very impressive to see.
Yeah, it's been great stuff thus far from the Hornets as we take a quick look at what the head-to-head looks like here between SU and Full Sail. 3-0 to 2-1. We can look at these games won as well. 6-1 in these 3 games, only dropping 1 series, whereas Full Sail 4-3, very, very close series when it all comes down to it.
Yeah, Full Sail was the only other undefeated team going into last week, and they end up dropping their series to Florida International, an in-state matchup there. But you have to applaud Full Sail for how they've bounced back from last semester. These two teams both looking at similar success. SU starting off extremely strong, but Full Sail coming off a 2-5 season, now still with 2 wins, but in way better shape than they were last season.
Yeah, you can take a quick look at what this head-to-head looks like. Yeah, Full Sail looking so much better already up to that win total that they had in that last season. We'll take a quick look at what the rosters look like here for Full Sail Armada. Some interesting characters, some good characters coming through from Full Sail. We have Congo Bongo on the Bowser, MPH playing Pit, Entropy on the Bayonetta, and Joy Boy on the Greninja. So some speed on the sticks here for Full Sail.
Yeah, it's certainly worth mentioning as well. There is a sub on this roster that we've already seen this season in Gogamon with the Ridley. So might see that tonight. I'm not expecting it, but worth mentioning that it's on the table as we look on our side of the field as well. Same 4 guys you're used to, but also worth mentioning that SU has a sub in Eyes on the Palutena, who we might get to see a little bit of tonight.
Yeah, I think that would be really exciting if we can see Eyes, right? A very, very good player on this SU roster, but has to compete with these 4 demons that we are used to seeing every single week. So it'll be nice to see Eyes get some reps. We expect them on the Palutena, but they do have a Roy in the back as well as needed. A little bit of sortie matchup there. So it'll be interesting to see what Eyes comes out here with and if they do get some play time, but it'll be very, very exciting if we do get to see this new player.
Yeah, Igloo with the stats here, coming off a massive performance against ODU, arguably the winning player in that series. Everybody doing an incredible job of stepping up to the moment and doing their job in that series, but Igloo on the Samus specifically, which was his backup, surprising ODU going off of the Yoshi and having a monster series to put ODU down in both of those sets in that 2-0 victory.
Yeah, it was a really, really close series up against ODU, but they felt like they had complete control of it, and it looked like they had complete control of that series as well. So we can play the guessing game of who we think Full Sail might put out first. I mean, SU, you expect it to be Kip every single time. I mean, it's just the tried and true way of the Hornets when you have that Pac-Man in the roster. But I mean, on the side of Full Sail, we talked to Igloo a little bit earlier before this matchup, saying that this MPH Pit is a dangerous player, a new player on this roster as well, to look out for him. So maybe that's the opener from Full Sail. We'll have to see.
Yeah, we will have to see. You have to think that SU probably won't stray very far from their established strategies. And again, I mentioned that we might see Eyes, that sub, come in for SU today, but you have to think that will only happen probably in set 2. Yeah. If I have to guess, right, SU is absolutely poised to go the rest of this season undefeated, but you can't get caught up on any opponent in the moment, right? I imagine that SU still is very aware that any of these series are very losable, and so I expect them to sort of put themselves in a position where they can unwind a little bit and get some playtime on these backup players.
Yeah, I would definitely expect that to be what happens, right? They go in with their normal 4 in the first series, take that win, and then get Eyes some playtime. But yeah, it's going to be a fun time. I'm really excited to watch Eyes because I started Smash playing Roy. Eyes plays Roy, and then I went to Palutena. Eyes plays Palutena. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. I'll be able to watch 2 of my favorite characters in the game if Eyes does get to see some game time. But yeah, I'm just curious of who he might replace in this lineup. I feel like Kip would stay. I feel like maybe AJ and Eyes is the platoon potentially for this SU squad if Eyes does see some playtime. And yeah, we'll have to kind of wait and see, as it looks like players are getting their arena together to start off in this close matchup. So yeah, it's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, you raise a good point. SU does only have 1 sub, and it is Eyes. So I have to imagine that SU, if they put Eyes in, is also going to save themselves some room in case things start to go bad. So that probably means, yes, keeping Kip and Willie at least. Yeah. And then I have to imagine Igloo's going to want to keep himself in there just in case he needs to pivot things and go in and be the bad man that he is. So if I had to guess, he's probably going to replace AJ, and I think that's fine. AJ's been here as long as everybody else, so this whole team has so much experience. I said this strategy has been in place for a long time. The reason it's been in place for a long time is because all of these players have been here for a long time. Coming up on like 3 years at least for all of them, Willie being the youngest. So if I'm expecting a sub to come in, I think it probably comes in for AJ, and we'll see what character he picks. Hard to say. It probably depends on the matchup he gets in the moment, but I am excited to see some new talent here.
Yeah, I feel like Igloo might stay in just because, I've seen it firsthand. He has a lot of experience into the Bayonetta matchup, so that might be one that he would want to pick up just in case he was over in Belgium a few years ago on a gel trip and he played this Bayonetta who was a demon in a grand finals. Did fall to that player, but it was unbelievably close, so I know that Igloo knows his way around the Bayonetta matchup because he performed extremely, extremely well overseas. So we'll have to see if that is kind of the game plan. I feel like Kip can also have some good mix-up just because you can play that range, and Bayonetta excels with being on top of you and getting hit by you, right? Very, very easy to punish with Bayonetta. So we'll have to see if that kind of is the game plan for Igloo to kind of stay in the backseat and wait for the Bayo to come out. But at the end of the day, this is all speculation. This could all be tossed out the window immediately, and we could see eyes start here right now. So who knows?
You're absolutely right. I am excited to see this Full Sail roster, too, because this is a lineup of characters that we don't get to see very often back here. They've got a Greninja in there. Really, SU has only ever played against one Greninja, and it's Anarchy from South Carolina over at Winthrop. But that was a tough matchup, right? That's an incredible Greninja player. Yeah. So I'm curious how SU will hold the line against not the best Greninja player in the world. But also, Bayonetta's not a character that we see very often. Pit, not a character we see very often. Bowser's weird because he is just a heavyweight. We saw King K. Rool come in just the other day with Northwood, and that King K. Rool blew my mind, I have to say. But otherwise, SU tends to do pretty well against these heavyweights with characters like Pac-Man, with characters like Kazuya. So, I don't know. It's fresh faces, but I'm excited to see how they handle these characters in ways that they have already seen.
Yeah, I'm getting flashbacks to Willie into Bowser on the Kazuya of just how insane that matchup was. So we'll have to see kind of how that goes. I know Kip does really well into big bodies. Like Galaga combos are super, super easy to land into players characters like Bowser and the Ridley that is in reserve as well. So both of those characters I don't think will be a massive problem for the SU roster. I feel like the three glaring ones, or the glaring one to me, is this Pit, just with the shields, the reflex that they can have with their down B, side B finisher, which usually doesn't get used a whole lot unless you're kind of trying to mix up your recovery onto stage with Pit. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how SU keeps up with the pace that these characters have. I'm interested to see who goes into the Greninja, because I know that is a very fast character. Maybe that's where AJ comes in, able to kind of match the speed and really keep Greninja up in the air. So we'll have to see where these matchups come through. But again, that's time will tell with what happens with this series.
Yeah, maybe that's where Eyes comes in, actually. Maybe true. SU is looking to sort of experiment, not only just get their own players some playtime, but also sort of experiment into matchups that we don't get very often, like Greninja, like Pit. Maybe Palutena does work out a little bit better into those matchups into these matchups that the main SU roster doesn't have a ton of experience on. I'm getting word from our production as well that it looks like Full Sail has one more sub that we did not account for, named Blue Wing, who plays Fox. So that changes things a little bit. Not a ton, but Fox definitely something to keep an eye out for, especially into characters like Pac-Man and Igloo Samus.
Yeah, that could be a pretty good matchup here into Kip. The Shine reflecting all of the Galagas, the keys, the bells, whatever it may be, for their own use is definitely something that is very dangerous when it comes to Pac-Man, because if you can't really get those strings off of those combo starters, it's really hard to really find a whole lot of anything. And then with the raw speed of Fox as well, playing close against that character is also a little bit of a struggle for Pac-Man, just because of how slow some of their moves do come out. So I could see the Fox coming in here as well, but again, it's kind of that waiting game to see who Full Sail decides to put into Kip, AJ, whoever it may be coming through from SU.
Yeah, I'm looking ahead at our switch here, and it looks like we are just waiting for everybody to get into the lobby, so we should be getting underway hopefully soon here. But this is, again, a big moment for SU to stay undefeated. I mean, I said it about Rocket League in their group, best part about being 3-0 is the opportunity to compete for 4-0. That's a quote from Urban Meyer. I don't know if you knew that. Why I keep referencing that. But it's true, right? You only get these opportunities if you stay undefeated. And SU's on a heck of a trajectory right now. And we had Igloo back here after that crazy win over ODU. And you can clearly tell from him and from the team that there's some serious aspirations to go to a LAN here. Yeah. They want to earn the right and go compete against the best in person, wherever that may be. So I'm very excited for this team to continue to earn it, and so far it looks like they are. But I have to say, I mean, this team is on fire right now, and you can just see it from being around them.
Yeah, I mean, Igloo just in the post-game interview, like you said, slamming the desk, juiced,
literally
wired, so exciting. I mean, you saw it on the stat graphic. Desks slammed, desks hit, 1 was the tally there. So it is going to be a blast watching this team throughout the season, the year, and whatever they are able to accomplish is going to be amazing for the school, for them. It's just going to be a blast all around. And, I mean, you said it. The energy that this team has is awesome. They are here to win. They're playing arguably some of the best Smash Bros. They've played from last semester and this semester ever, right? They are at a peak right now, and frankly, sky feels like it is the limit, right? So it's going to be great to see this SU squad come up with a potential 4-0 start to NACE Varsity Premier. That would just be a huge, huge start for this roster.
Yeah, and again, you have to remember, too, that they're coming off a national championship runner-up last season in NECC. Now, the big problem with that, and SU knows it, this roster knows it, they did get a couple forfeits in the playoffs to get to that spot, and then they lost in the last round. Now, that should not discount the efforts and talent that this team had and the result that they got. But you can tell when you talk to the players that there is still a bit of a chip on their shoulder. They know that, yeah, there's, at least in their minds, there's a bit of an asterisk there, and they want to prove that there shouldn't be, that they had every opportunity to make it there with or without a forfeit in between. So with the right trajectory here, like I said, they are absolutely on pace to prove everybody wrong, prove themselves correct, that they are belonging in that top spot. And you said it, they are playing some of the best Smash Bros. I've ever seen them play because of it. I think they do feel the need to prove that was not just some fluky result due to other teams being in Japan competing in tournaments. Like they deserve that finish, and they're looking to prove that this semester.
Yeah, and to note with that last semester run, AJ was not in that lineup, right? It was Far Rhombus on the Jigglypuff instead, who is not on the team this semester. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see with kind of the full roster that we are used to seeing throughout the years with AJ, Kip, Igloo, and Willie all geared up, ready to go, full strength. And then with another very confident and well-characterized eyes player with Roy and Palu. Very, very good characters in this game right now, and a very talented player themselves. I mean, we could really mix some things up with this roster.
Absolutely. And something we sort of teased it earlier, but I'm excited to see MPH on this pit, especially because it's my understanding that this is a new player for Full Sail, and you have to keep in mind, Full Sail being a 2-year institution, they have quick turnaround in their roster, right? They don't get to develop these types of teams that SU has. So all of SU's players have been here for at least 3 years, if not coming on their 4th year. And Full Sail does not get that luxury, unfortunately. But they're making the most of it, and I'm excited to see how their new bloods come in and sort of, carry that weight, carry the traditions of the program, if you will, and translate that to results.
Yeah, we can take a quick look at some of the other players here for the SU roster, notably Kip on the Pac-Man coming through here. I mean, you can see the numbers, right? 34 stocks taken to 20 stocks lost. Ooh, That's pretty darn good. A very, very powerful starter here for the SU roster, looking to keep that momentum rolling.
Absolutely. This is the opener. This is the closer when he needs to be, too. I mean, we've seen this guy do it all, but 34 stocks taken, 20 stocks lost over many, many games now is exactly what we've come to expect from this player, which is unfortunate because that's a lot of pressure on him every time he goes in and is expected to take almost twice as many stocks as he loses. But, I mean, when you have this high level of play, when you have this talented of a player, that's the position you put yourself in, and Kip has not disappointed one bit.
Yeah, and the other thing about Kip is that he plays Pac-Man, which is not a character that people see a lot at locals and at tournaments, right? So sometimes it is a little bit of a mix of like, okay, well, how the heck am I supposed to get through this hydrant? And then I need to get through an orange, and then a Galaga and a bell coming through, the speed of the key at high percentages, launching the setups with Apple Hydrant as well, covering pretty much any option that you might want to go to. You can't roll, you can't jump, you can't do much of anything because you'll get grabbed, hit by a hydrant, or nailed by an apple and launched. So definitely a very, very fun character to watch, and it looks like that might be what we see here to start.
I forgot about that in week 1 or week 2 when he had that once. He hit the same setup like twice, or like a slight variation of it the second time. And I was sitting up here screaming, you can't roll, you can't jump, you can't shield it. Yeah, I mean, Kip is really starting to figure out his character, and that's not a surprise, right? He's been playing this character forever. He's got it more than figured out. But establishing these new setups that we've somehow never seen in the 3-4 years that we've been watching Kip play, somehow he pulls out something new every week to overwhelm an opponent. And yeah, you said it, Pac-Man's not a character that other players are used to seeing. They don't get the prep that other characters get, or other matchups get. So Kip does have that definitely in his favor, and he's found a way to make the most of it.
Yeah, I do want to mention that we did see a little flash of characters here probably about like 3-ish minutes ago. It was Bayonetta, the one that got flashed up on the screen up against Kip's Pac-Man. Not sure if that's 100%, because we are still waiting to hop into the game itself and go into button checks if needed by these players. But based off of that information, I think that is what we want, right? I think we do want to see this Bayonetta early, see if Kip can get these 3 stocks out of the way, and that kind of unleashes Igloo to possibly do maybe whatever he wants and go into whatever he may want to go into here later on in this series.
Yeah, I'm watching for 2 things in this matchup if it is Pac-Man into Bayonetta. 1, how does Bayonetta deal with a fire hydrant? And 2, can Pac-Man up B out of a Bayonetta combo? Bayonetta's whole game plan are these extended combos. You get little windows to go take your opponent from 0 to about 60, and sometimes right next to the blast zone. But something that surprised me in the past is Terry is similar in that regard in that he has pretty set combos, but we've seen Kip more than once just be able to use his trampoline and jump out of these combos. So this is just my own ignorance. I don't know if he can do that out of a Bayonetta combo. So that's why I'm saying that's another thing that I'm keeping an eye on is, does Pac-Man have a unique way of getting out of Bayonetta combos when he's in the middle of them? And how does Bayonetta deal with a fire hydrant beyond forward smashing that thing? Because
that's what I was thinking.
Not going to be able to afford to do that.
Yeah, I feel like he might be able to use the trampoline because I know Igloo, the Yoshi jump, has a little bit of armor like with it and can jump out of those combos as well as we hop into our button check. So the next go around, I believe we will be hopping into this game. So it'll be, I wonder if the trampoline might even just interrupt the combo altogether if Bayonetta lands on the trampoline as well. I'm not entirely, we might just be hopping right into game here after this button check. So we are in, and it's already hydrant down and farming up that Galaga for Kip, trying to get things going.
Yeah, I like to see that from the players. We get a quick, maybe 30-second button check, even that. And then we get right into this thing. We've been waiting long enough. The players have been waiting long enough. Let's get this thing underway. I like that. But so far, Bayonetta untouched, landing on Kip's shield, but Kip unable to capitalize on it. And here comes one of those combos. So keep an eye on Kip. If he's able to fall out of any of these, add any percent with anything unique other than just, SDIing or finding an air dodge somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, already, though, Bayonetta playing very, very confidently here. 86% built up to the 0 on their character thus far. Kip struggling to get any sort of Gallica combos strung together and really struggling to avoid some of these combos coming through, which time will connect, but won't be able to do much off of it other than get some extra percentage.
Yeah, would have liked to see a little bit more there from this Full Sail player from that witch time, but it's all right. You're not going to get it every time, as finally Kip gets something rolling. I was going to call out, it looks like Kip's just playing a little slow, and I have to say that's not normal for him, and I expect that to get a little bit better as we sort of settle in, as Kip gets an opportunity to settle in a little bit, because now all of a sudden the percentage has evened out in the blink of an eye, and he's looking to take this first stock, but won't quite do it with that side B.
I felt like I blinked and we're tied in percentages pretty much, as the jab on the ledge there coming through from Bayo won't be able to connect the hydrant, launching off towards the right-hand side. But yeah, Kip now kind of getting into the groove of things there with that key through the hydrant, able to find the first stock of this series. Good dodge and a jab coming through from the Bayo. The guns are up and ready, but won't be fired on that ledge guard.
Yeah, it's something Kip has to keep an eye out for. Bayonetta Rapid Jab is absolutely a kill option. As wow, Kip gets caught on his own hydrant there, and he eats a forward smash to the face. So quick response there from Entropy, and I like that for Full Sail. Not let this thing get too out of hand, because Kip was really starting to claw back quick. So I like a bit of a silencer there from Entropy to keep this thing rolling.
Yeah, unable to get a whole lot of extra credit on that stock as well is Kip, as now we kind of see the potential aerial combinations coming through from the Bayo. That was 42% just off of that one string. So a couple more of those and, well, you're not looking too good, especially if you're up towards that top blast zone, as a little whiff action coming through from both of these players. A side dash attack able to come through from Kip to get some sort of percentage onto that one, as Bayo takes them sky high yet again with those aerials.
Yeah, I have to say the game has kind of slowed down once again, like I said at the start. And if I'm Entropy, I actually don't hate that at all, because all it takes for Bayonetta is little windows to find, again, 40, 50, 60% on your opponent, exactly like this. So if you play it slow, if your opponent's not approaching you, it's not the end of the world, in the same way that we're used to seeing, you know, Kip play slow and wait for opportunities. I actually don't hate it for this Bayonetta, and so far they are taking advantage.
Yeah, playing very, very slow right now, both of these players, waiting for that perfect moment to kind of approach, as the up smash will be able to find the stock through the hydrant. I mean, Kip just in an unfortunate landing position there on that one, but still 104% built up, trying to go for the up smash on the platform as well, but just can't quite make that connection. The key will connect. We'll see the apple is there, but able to get out of that one.
Yeah, okay, so I forget the name of that. Oh, wow. That's not what they meant to do. That's tragic. Entropy mounts on the side of the stage and gets put in a vulnerable position for Kip to down air. But yes, Bayonetta has this tool in the form of her air dodge, and it's not the witch time. The witch time is her counter, but it's just called like bats or something, where her air dodge timer is a little weird in that if she air dodges like within a frame or two, I forget the specifics, of a move hitting her, then her air dodge leaves the opponent a little more vulnerable. So keep an eye out for that. But Kip all the way back in this one as he goes for 2 consecutive. Oh, that's a perfect example. Yes. The trampoline used to get out of that combo after going for 2 up smashes in a row. Kip does not get punished for it, and is now just looking to put this stock away with probably an apple or a key right here.
Oh, Bell will be the one tossed out instead. I thought you had it too. I was waiting for that key to come out, at least trying to just run up forward smash coming through, unable to connect. That one will, however, and will find the kill on the opposite side of the stage. So Kip surviving with 1 stock remaining, the Bayonetta Entropy out of the way.
Yeah, so strong showing from Kip. You can't complain about walking away still in the game, but I have to say, yeah, Kip just looked a little off in that one, but he's making reads, playing around where his opponent would be, but just a little slow on the responses, and I think Kip will get over that. This does not concern me in the length of this series, but maybe something to be aware of that Kip didn't quite look 100%, and I'm sure might have been able to get away from that series with an extra stock if he played that just a little bit better.
Yeah, and props to Entropy as well, not getting too impatient with the farming of the items from Kip, just kind of waiting for those moments to come in and strike with these aerial combinations, not trying to get too ahead of themselves, but both of these stocks coming from smash attacks as well, not something that I'm used to seeing from Bayonetta's. Usually it's just that off-the-top aerial combo that does find those kills, so maybe mixing it up just a little bit there. Kip not used to being able to have that much free time to try to get out of some of those combos.
Right, yeah. Looking back at those replays, Kip lost his first stock from dash attacking into his Hydrant on the same side as Bayonetta. Bayonetta gets a free forward smash. Then Kip lands on his Hydrant and shields and just lets go of his shield like 2 frames early, catches an up smash to the face. Those are uncharacteristic mistakes from Kip. That's self-inflicted wounds there from Kip, so I'm expecting that if we see him again next set, he's probably going to look to prove himself a little bit better than that, or maybe doesn't even have to wait till next set because he's still got a stock left. So whoever's coming in next for Full Sail might have a pretty angry Pac-Man coming their way.
Yeah, I did hear from our producer Greninja, the character to come in. So Joy Boy on the Greninja. So we'll have to see what this matchup looks like. I'm not familiar with what this matchup technically is. I know Greninja has a whole lot of speed, very, very fast, and does pretty darn well in the air. But Greninja's whole game plan pretty much is dash attack and try to follow up on that. There's not a whole lot more to it other than landing on shields with Nair and hoping that they don't get a parry and can find a grab instead and play off of that. So that's kind of what I'm going to be looking for from Joy Boy here on this Greninja, because that frankly just feels like the main game plan of this character.
Yeah, there's 2 windows, 2 game states that we're going to have to be heightened when they're happening. It's 1, when Greninja's on the wrong side of a Hydrant from Pac-Man, because that's exactly what Pac-Man would want. Or 2, when Pac-Man is above Greninja. Those are both of these characters' windows of opportunity. Now, Pac-Man only has 1 stock to work with, but, well... Sorry, we're looking at the Switch and Bayonetta's still in. So that was a surprise. That can't happen. But yes, can a Greninja get Kip above him, or can Kip keep Greninja? Wow, this is a tongue twister. On the other side of a fire hydrant, because I don't, again, know how a Greninja deals with a fire hydrant, because a dash attack would not break it.
No, I feel like it's got to be a forward smash. I feel like that's the only way to confidently just get rid of that as fast as possible. So we'll have to see how the Greninja acts with that. But, I mean, you're right about if Greninja gets you above him, the up air string potential is dangerous. And you can drag that down and combo that into a whole lot more things that you don't really want to have to deal with up against Greninja, because it is just a very fast character in the air, on the ground altogether. The reaction times from Kip will have to be good, and in that first set it just seems slow, so it'll be interesting to see how Kip plays into this Greninja.
Yeah, not only do you have to worry about the up air strings, but it's just incredibly hard to land on a Greninja, period. That was the biggest thing I learned from watching Anarchy down at Boost and when watching Winthrop play. The thing that makes Anarchy so great is that you are stuck in the air. Whether you want to be or not, it's impossible to land on that Greninja. Now, I don't know if this Greninja player is able to keep up with that. I mean, that was very, very high-level Smash, very, very high-level Greninja, but there's nothing making me believe that they can't, and so that's something that, by default, then is something that Pac-Man needs to look out for. It's incredibly hard to land on a Greninja, and it opens so many opportunities for Greninja to then kill you, whether he hits you on your landing or takes advantage of you some other way.
Yeah, and landing on it is also just dangerous in itself, because the up smash is very, very powerful, and if you find that sweet spot, you're gone.
Yeah.
Like, that hits
you blow
hard. It is a very, very dangerous move to try to land on. And we see it a lot of times just like with a down throw, a quick dash attack right into an up smash, and that's 60% practically right there. It does a whole lot of work and is very difficult to try to avoid as we wait to hop into this series. Not sure if we're having some technical difficulties on that one or not, but nevertheless, Greninja into Pac-Man, it's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, I'm also curious if Greninja's, I forget if it's his side B, I believe it is, the substitute, the blink.
Oh, the little, like, the shadow sneak kind of thing?
If that goes through a hydrant too, or if it gets blocked by the hydrant. I would think that it goes through it, but I also don't really know. So maybe that's an answer, but that move also inherently is just a little committal. It has a lot of end lag, and if it hits Kip's shield, then you are extremely vulnerable.
Yeah.
So I don't know that it's a great option to get through the hydrant, but if it goes through the hydrant, maybe it's an option. Who's to say? We'll see if this Joy Boy on the Greninja feels like that's the appropriate option, but so far, here we are, right? One of those falling Nair combos is exactly what you need to find 60% on this Pac-Man in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, already, those falling Nairs into the up airs as well. Going for a counter there on the hydrant, potentially trying to find a call out on that one as the shurikens coming through as well. But you can already see the speed that the Greninja is able to play with, dashing away from the hydrants, the Nairs coming out, the forward airs as well. Just trying to get any sort. Well, maybe that's how you respond to it. I guess. Did he just counter?
So that was the side.
Okay, yes.
That I don't know if it didn't go through it or if he just opted to hit it. We'll keep an eye out if it happens again. But that's one example, at least, that makes me think that maybe it doesn't go through the hydrant. So good intel for Kip. Good news for Kip, if that's the truth, as now he does set up his hydrant perfectly for an apple to the face, and Greninja quickly finds himself up at 150% and in the blast zone. So after a 60% start to this match, Kip responds with 150% of his own in a stock and is still keeping this thing rolling.
I would like to see if we could get like a look at that interaction on the hydrant, because I think that was the counter up against the water coming off the top. I think that's what that was, because the sneak doesn't have the log come out of it. So I think that's what happened. I feel like that was... I mean, if that is the case, that's really cool. I did not know that happened. Yeah, it looks like it's the counter coming through, trying to counter the water, like off frame one. So, yeah, I don't know necessarily what is happening there, but nevertheless, Greninja looking good, trying to close out this stock.
I think you're 100% right, because now that I'm thinking back on it, Greninja came top down when he hit the hydrant, and Greninja's counter does different things depending on the direction he was hit from. Whereas his side B right there only ever looks like that.
Yeah.
So I do think you're right. So, hey, good eye to you.
Let's take it.
That was definitely the counter, now that I think about it. So, but another interesting interaction then, or another point that brings up is, yes, you can counter the water.
That's
which
so
is,
cool.
Yeah, a bit of a niche thing. It's only really going to ever help Greninja break the hydrant, but sometimes might catch Kip off guard, as Greninja forced to recover. Little uncomfy there, but still landing with those nairs. Kip still just holding onto this stock and really threatening another one here.
Oh, catching the apple there. Oh, could have tossed it. The grab will come through into the back throw, but can't find that stock just yet. The recovery coming through yet again with the hydrant, just barely catching the Greninja. I mean, Kip playing so well with this one stock up at 160%.
That was such a bad beat for Joy Boy. I mean, catching the apple was great, but I don't think he meant to catch the apple, and then it totally threw off his combo as he threw the apple straight down. Pac-Man's fine there, and now, okay, almost threatening a reversal, but... yeah, dives to the hydrant on the ledge, holding onto it a little too long, but using the hydrant there to extend the hitbox on his forward air, or delay the hitbox, I guess, on his forward air. Finally takes Kip out, but Kip responds like I said he might. That was a pretty angry Kip, and he responds with 2 stocks. Yeah,
2 stocks off of the Greninja, setting SU up in a very, very good and confident spot. I mean, we're 9 stocks to 7 now in favor of SU, and with 1 to go, I mean, I feel like into this Greninja, I feel like Igloo would be able to play well into this with the Yoshi to come through. Let's see if that is just the first stock. I don't know if we have an actual replay of that encounter. But yeah, right at the edge of that hydrant is so unfortunate. And then the big extended hitbox with that forward smash as well. Or I think that was the forward air. Able to connect on that one. But yeah, Kip getting 2 off of the Greninja is huge.
Yeah, absolutely. Doing what he does, right? Kip tends... part of this SU strategy is sort of banking that Kip wins his first matchup and then carries that momentum into more. And here we are. 7-9 stock count in favor of SU. means that I believe you all saw what we saw. It certainly looks like Igloo is the one sitting in the hot seat, and now it's just a matter of do you take Samus or do you take Igloo or Yoshi. I have to think it's probably Yoshi. Samus is again a bit more of a counter pick, a bit more of a situational pick, and I don't see this as one of those situations, especially since I think it would actually be more difficult for a Samus to land on a Greninja than Yoshi. So I think Yoshi is 100% the move here.
Yeah, and with Igloo going in, I feel like that makes the most sense as well, saving potentially AJ, Willie, or even Eyes here tonight to come in and get some play time on the Palutena or the Roy. Who knows which one would come in there if Eyes does make an appearance. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Full Sail does here with this final stock for Greninja, if they can get 2 in response and really bring this one back within 1. But still, I feel like the aerial approach that Yoshi has into this character is going to overwhelm and be able to really strike and put some percentage on quickly to secure at least that first stock.
Yeah, we're also reaching a point where now Full Sail needs to start thinking ahead and saying, where's the heat going to come from? You're down 2 stocks. Greninja only has 1 stock. Someone's got to make up some ground, and Greninja's not in a place to do that. Full Sail does have 2 subs. I don't know if that's where you pull your fire from. I imagine they have an anchor sort of poised and ready to be in these types of situations, but something to keep an eye out for now that you are down 2 stocks in this sort of mid-game position. SU only on their 2nd player, and threatening to knock Full Sail down to their 3rd without losing a stock on this Yoshi if it goes his way. So now you got to start thinking down the line a little bit and thinking, who's going to make up the ground that we need.
Yeah, I do feel like the anchor position for Full Sail is going to be MPH on this pit. Igloo was mentioning that that's the one character that has really stood out with some results in the past. So we'll have to see if that switches up just to kind of put out the fire after this Greninja stock goes through, or if Greninja goes on an unbelievable tear and finds 3 stocks here up against Igloo. So we'll have to see what happens, but I don't think MPH will come in early. I feel like they will be kind of on that back burner on that anchor position, and that we could see, I could see a switch up maybe with the Fox to come through just to try to get some more speed and try to secure some stocks with some up smashes, up tilts, whatever it may be from the Fox. But yeah, I think it could be an interesting mix up here on the side of Full Sail.
Yeah, I'm also thinking, so Congo Bongo, this Bowser player, worst case scenario goes into Willie.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to play Congo Bongo, again, they have subs, so they're not forced to play this Bowser. But if you're going to play Bowser, I think it needs to be after this Greninja stock. Knowing that Willie will probably be the anchor for SU, they're not going to put AJ at the anchor on the Falco. You're going to try to get as much value from this Bowser as you can before the inevitable Kazuya comes in and waxes you.
Dumpsters this Bowser.
So yeah, that's something to keep an eye out for. If they feel the need, if they feel pressured to put this Bowser in, if this Bowser player is some superstar that I'm not familiar with. Otherwise, yeah, then you probably do start looking to your reserves just to avoid that outcome, because that's such a low odds Kazuya into Bowser working out for Bowser. I cannot sit here and tell you that will happen.
Yeah. There's no shot that ever goes Bowser's way. It's just hard. Like, you're too big, you're too slow, and Kazuya's way too fast. We've seen it as well. Not very Bowser friendly is the Kazuya as we hop in to this next matchup. The Greninja getting those 2 SDs out of the way. And now Yoshi, the one for Igloo to come through in this matchup, which I think is possibly still a button check. Taunts coming through as we now hop in to the actual gameplay here. The down air already connecting onto the Greninja. Some jabs coming through as well. Won't be able to connect in full as Greninja is able to find that shield.
Yeah, Igloo just playing slow, playing to establish his game plan, get a read on this opponent, because it's hard to play into a Pac-Man normally, right? You watch a player try to deal with Pac-Man, and then you go, okay, that's how they play. Might not be true, because you play a bit different when you're playing into Pac-Man. So Igloo getting his own download so far, and it's working so far, I have to say. But going for down B like that means he's seeing a lot of shielding out of this Greninja, but he isn't. Joy Boy has not fallen for it just yet.
Yeah, trying to find that up air towards the top blast zone, but the spot dodge able to come through. Will be able to avoid that one, as that is that up smash coming through as well. Reaches up onto those platforms up air, and that's the jump out of that one, which is something that we could possibly see later on into the Bayonetta, the powerful jump that Yoshi has, able to get out. The up smash will connect and secure that stock, with Igloo losing 0.
Yeah, that's exactly what we were saying. Igloo's sort of threatening Full Sail into a corner with not losing a stock there. Now you are a full player down, but you get your choice of character from Full Sail. So now, again, if you feel forced to put Bowser in, I think it needs to be now. Otherwise, Full Sail sort of forced to dig into their bag of tricks as Igloo takes this last stock.
Yeah, so Greninja and Bayonetta, the ones out of the way already. Bowser, Pit, Ridley, Fox, the remaining 4 potential players on the side of Full Sail. So what's the answer? I mean, you have 2 left. You have 4 players potentially available. Again, don't think it will be the Pit, possibly the Bowser to come through, like you mentioned earlier. But into the way that Avery was able to clean up that last stock, well, he looks like he's playing pretty darn well.
Yeah, all of a sudden, Full Sail, again, under a bit of pressure here. This is certainly not where you'd like to be, because, again, this sort of idea of who's going to make up ground, all of a sudden this person has even more ground to make up. It's only getting worse. So going to have to find some answer, and even if this set doesn't go your way, you're hoping to at least get SU down to their last player so that you can get some intel, something to take forward into your next series so you know who you're up against. Worst case scenario, or the worst thing that can happen in crew battles, in my opinion, is losing before you see everyone on the enemy team.
Yeah.
And SU right now is heading in that direction, or at least threatening to do that to Full Sail right now, being a full player up and having a senior who's been in these situations countless times, still very hot and in the seat with 3 stocks.
Yeah, it does seem like we got word from our producer that we are going to see the Bowser come through. Congo Bongo, the one coming in for Full Sail. I don't know how well that one will match up. I know Avery has a lot of experience into that matchup, just because we used to have a Bowser on our academy team as well, with Tripophobia, the one piloting that one.
True.
I mean, that was, like a year and a half ago? That feels like a while, but yeah, so definitely going to be a tough climb, a tough battle here for Congo Bongo on this Bowser.
Yeah, but that's always going to be true about Bowser. That's the
true.
thing. And I think this says a lot about this Bowser player, because on paper, yeah, you don't love Bowser into Yoshi or Falco, but Smash is not just about characters. You can take any character and go win a major, technically.
True.
Although that has not happened. But yeah, that's the beauty about Smash, is that somebody really good on their character can do just about anything. So I think that says a lot about this Bowser. That also, unfortunately, puts a lot of pressure on this Bowser to perform, to go out there and execute, and probably knock out Igloo with only losing 1, maybe 2 stocks, to put the rest of your team in a position to succeed, but that's the position that they're in and what they're going to have to overcome.
Yeah, it's going to have to be a big performance from Congo Bongo, right? I mean, you're down 9 to 6 stocks, a dire situation, trying to get through the second player that SU has shown thus far, being the captain of all people, the most level-headed player on this team, it feels like, as it does look like we were getting ready to hop in to this first initial button check and then into that game as well. But yeah, I mean, right now, I know Igloo toyed with the idea of playing Eyes, and I feel like they are in a position for Eyes to possibly make an appearance in this series, but again, we'll have to see if they can get through Igloo here and try to force out another player from SU.
Yeah, I think that's actually a great point, but I do think that will come down to how this matchup plays out. If Igloo leaves this matchup with one stock and knocks out Bowser and then gets knocked out, or if Igloo gets knocked out against Full Sail's fourth, then I would not be surprised to see Eyes come in that type of scenario where you do have quite a bit of cushion and Willie behind you into whoever we would already know his matchup. So,
yeah, already we can see up tilts into up airs connecting, a fair into the down smash as well, able to connect with that one. 76% built up. Bowser, while a heavyweight, still struggles with getting out of some of these combos. 144% built up already to the only 21% on the side of Igloo. Good call out coming through from Bowser.
Yeah, that was an aggressive. We only saw a couple frames of it, but it looked like Igloo went for a footstool into down B to try to break his shield. That's a crazy call out a minute into this game, but Igloo going for the throat on that one and goes just wide. But beautiful thing about heavies is that while you do take a lot of these combo strings, you eat a lot of percentage, you get to live pretty late. That time going down at about 150%, but still catching a back air near that side of the stage would kill just about anybody. But if you take that sort of closer to mid stage or the far side of the stage, Bowser's still alive, and that's where you're going to have to find your value in this type of character.
And that is the side B as well, something that is very fun to hit if you play Bowser, but also hard to hit as well, because it is all right, able to just find that one right off rip with is that the down air? Question mark? Yes, I believe it is. But already back into those aerial strings goes Igloo, able to get 53% built back up.
Yeah, big thing about those Bowser side Bs, if we continue. Oh, wow, Igloo. Jeez. Getting awfully aggressive again. But if we see more of those Bowser side Bs, he can drift it. But the way to control it, or the way it is controlled, depends on who is at a higher percentage. Whoever's at a lower percentage gets to influence the side-to-side more. So while Bowser still is in the driver's seat primarily, the person being grabbed can still be influenced, as Igloo does lose his jump somewhere in there. I missed that, and not able to air dodge to the ledge. So Bowser, Congo Bongo, excuse me, really holding their own so far in this Yoshi matchup.
Yeah, one thing, 161% built up onto this Bowser, trying to find that fire-breathing ledge guard, but can't find the full extent that they were looking for, as I mean, now, trying to go for that up smash onto the platform, just barely unable to connect. Bowser right now, Congo Bongo playing very, very well at a very high percent.
Yeah, what did I say? This is the value of a heavy. You get to stay alive at these percentages, but you have to make it worth it. Heavies are not great in this game, but this is where they thrive, and in order for this to pay off, if Congo Bongo is able to hold on to this stock, which he might, then that's the value. So Congo Bongo goes right into Igloo and wins 3-1 in a head-to-head, and all of a sudden, that's a heck of a response from Full Sail.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you wanted to see from Congo Bongo in this state. Right now, we're back down within one stock, 6 stocks to 5 here in favor of SU. And now, who do you put in as a response? I'm not entirely sure. It might be AJ here on the Falco would be my guess, just because of the raw speed that they have and the juggle potential into a Bowser, as we hop into some of the replays of that last matchup.
Yeah, all of a sudden, where SU was in the driver's seat, a 3-1 is not at all what they needed to maintain that momentum. So where we were talking before that series of we might see some Shenandoah subs, that's not the result that would elicit a sub. So all of a sudden, I'm thinking SU is going to stay at full strength and put AJ in here and just clean this out as they are used to, not try to get creative or frisky in any way, and just close this out, win this set, get ahead, and then you can still still try to put your team in an opportunity to get playtime on your subs.
Yeah, I like AJ coming in here. I, of course, love Willie staying in that anchor position. We only really put Willie in if it's a really dire situation and they put one of their players in early that we were like, ooh, okay, we thought this was going to be a little bit later on and we were going to save this player for Willie specifically, or hope that they save this player for Willie. So with no fires necessarily having to be put out, that does allow for other players to come into the mix, specifically AJ, the one to come in on the Falco. 2 stocks remaining on Congo Bongo as well on this Bowser. Not something that we expected in the even 3-3 matchup there with Yoshi, but nevertheless, this is where we sit, and AJ is the answer.
Yeah, and all of a sudden there's a bit more pressure on AJ too to not lose this head-to-head. If Congo Bongo gets another 3-1 win here, or God forbid a 3-0, then all of a sudden SU's in quite a hole. Now, again, you do have Willie in this anchor spot. You do have a Kazuya waiting for you that you have to imagine would eat pretty well into a Bowser, but it's hard to assume that when Bowser's playing like he's got nothing to lose. If Bowser can, side B a Kazuya off stage and just trade stocks or, silly stuff like that, that these heavyweights are capable of, when you're down, all of a sudden that's a bit more intimidating. So AJ does have a responsibility here, does have a task ahead of him. It's more than just, go in and get what you get, which I would have said about 5 minutes ago before that Yoshi-Bowser matchup, but all of a sudden, roles have swapped a little bit, and there's a bit more pressure on AJ to get out of this one.
Yeah, this just feels like a go and get 2 and only lose maximum 1 stock, right? You want to secure at least a 5-3 stock lead would make me feel that this one would be close to being done. I mean, AJ into the Pit matchup would do fairly well as well, because I know Pit likes to use that arrow shot a lot, and with the shine on Falco, you can kind of dodge some of that ledge guarding that we see from that character with that move specifically. So I do feel like AJ would at least be able to get 1 stock onto the Pit, but that is later down the line. First things first, you have 2 stocks ahead of you into this Bowser, 3 stocks to 2, and you have to find a performance here and keep SU in this game.
Yeah, 1 stock at a time is the only way to approach this for both of these teams, right? Bowser is going to be forced to still claw out of a hole here and find a way to bring this back for Full Sail, and that's a heck of a way to start it. But gonna have to maintain that momentum. Players did just get into a button check there, and Congo Bongo accidentally hit AJ, so we're gonna restart. But no problems there. We're just extended delay. Appreciate your patience, but it happens. So.
Yeah, I'd definitely get mixed up and be like, oh, I'm just going to run at the person and hit them. And I'm like, oh, wait, I need to die first.
Well, yeah, it looked like he was just still like getting loose, and he shot his fire, and the fire went very far and just hit AJ for like 1 tick of damage. So, again, it happens. Nothing malicious about it, but means we have to reset. So now we get to taunt and get into this. Falco, or AJ's Falco, tasked with getting out of this one after a pretty serious momentum shift toward Full Sail.
Yeah, already doing a great job is Congo Bongo. Full Flames coming out as well, building up 72% onto Falco's, or AJ's Falco already. And just like that, a stock off the board. A Bowser playing very, very well right now into this SU team. The up smash coming through the side B, able to connect some back airs coming through, but not able to get a whole lot as this Bowser's playing very, very well.
Yeah, we said it in the moment when this Bowser came in that had to say a lot about this Bowser player if they were willing to put that character into this situation. And sure enough, Congo Bongo has not disappointed one bit, tying up the stock count after being down a full 3, and now, again, threatening another one off AJ with 1 well-placed back air at this ledge or a forward tilt like that, catching a neutral get-up, and AJ absolutely on his heels right now.
Yeah, AJ has to try to find 1 here to set up Willie with a positive outlook into the Bowser, and then the Pit, the fire coming through again. We'll be able to find the landing back air to secure at least one stock off of this Bowser, but still has a lot to go as that side B will be able to connect and now sit AJ up at 72% with these nairs.
Yeah, AJ's just really struggling to get back onto the stage, gets grabbed out of his own combo, and reversal just like that. Does find his way back on and interrupts the Bowser fire, so he's going to have an opportunity to string some damage together, but he misses the back air, and side B's right into the shield of Bowser. Lands on the platform, and AJ lives to see another day. He'll go for it one more time, and this one is not shielded. So AJ makes his way back onto stage, but very, very much at kill percentage, and is going to have to avoid moves like that to hold on to that stock. He cannot do it, and Congo Bongo absolutely turns the tables on SU and pulls up one stock.
4-3 now, the stock count, after it was 9-6 in favor of SU. We go down to SU's final player here in Willie, the anchor, having to get one off of this Bowser, Congo Bongo, who's going on quite a run here in set number 1, and then go into what we can only imagine is going to be this pit, trying to keep this a 3-stock to 3-stock matchup. But yeah, I mean, Congo Bongo coming out swinging for Full Sail to keep this one in this first set.
Yeah, pretty disastrous run here so far from SU into this Bowser, but again, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and it is this upcoming Kazuya. Again, on paper, you have to think that Kazuya is going to eat pretty good into a Bowser, but I would have said that about Falco, and frankly, would have said that about Yoshi. Congo Bongo has proved me wrong twice, and there's nothing I've seen so far that makes me believe that he can't take a stock or even two off Willie before going down.
Yeah, I feel like that is worst case scenario, of course, for SU if a single stock gets taken off of the Kazuya here in this instance. But, I mean, I always go back to what we saw before when Willie took out a Kazuya into a Bowser. It went swimming.
Yeah.
It went very, very well. We found two stocks, I think, within the first 10 seconds
Just about.
of that matchup between those two characters. And now Willie only has to find one to move on to whoever is in wait as Full Sail's anchor in this first series as we hop into this button check.
Yeah, remember what I said about Bayonetta's opportunity windows? You don't need much to take your opponent from 0 to 40, 50, 60. The difference with Bayonetta and Kazuya is that Kazuya, into a character like Bowser, doesn't need much to take your opponent instead of from 40, 50, 60 to about 80, 90, 100 or death, depending on how it goes. Now, Willie opting to play the slow game here and shoot quite a few lasers and slow this game down. He will land right into the fire, but is able to get out of it and run all the way up and find a grab, and just like that, again, Willie finds his little opportunity, finds the spike hitbox that Congo Bongo was not ready for. They try to air dodge back to the ledge, they go the wrong direction, and they lose their stock for it. So Willie does exactly what he needs to do and ties this stock count up at 3.
And that's one from Willie. Now you have to find three more, 3 even stocks, 3 stocks to 3 here. Now, if you look at what is remaining here for Full Sail, it's got to be the pit, right? MPH on the pit has to be the answer into Willie Kazuya. I mean, it feels that way. I mean, we could see Fox or Ridley come through, but Ridley, or another big-bodied character that Kazuya can combo off of fairly easily with those large hitboxes, and Pit can play a little bit more range, a little bit more easily. I know Fox has that laser shot, but doesn't do quite as much as the Pit arrow does, in my opinion, with just kind of what it's used for. So yeah, it'll be a close matchup nevertheless as we find ourselves tied 3-3.
Yeah, I think Ridley would be a disastrous pick here into Kazuya, but Pit's a little weird because, yeah, he has the arrow, but that's kind of it in terms of range. Like, Pit absolutely does still need to get up a little close. The good news is he has a weapon. He's got disjointed hitboxes, so he can space you out just a little bit. But also, you know, Kazuya's invincible on the top half of his body for, like, 80% of his moveset.
That's true.
So that's something to keep in mind if we do see a Pit. On the other hand, if we see this Fox come in, I think Fox's speed could be a problem for Willie to deal with. It's hard to get your hands on a Fox, period, because he's constantly moving around the stage. He's constantly moving in and out of your danger zone. And Willie, I don't know how many times I've seen Willie play against Foxes in competitive, because usually the Fox comes in a little bit early in these crew battles. So I'm kind of, just strictly on paper, I'm kind of liking Fox better than Pitt. But I also know that this Pitt player is pretty strong. So it's hard for me to say, but either way, there's definitely ups and downs to both choices, and we're just going to have to get into it to see how it works out.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with the speed that Fox has being a little bit of a problem when you're going for these electric combos. I mean, it takes a while for it to be thrown out. It isn't the largest hitbox for that move, and then Fox is just so fast that he can punish you if you whiff it just a little bit. It can combo into a pretty devastating Fox combination, so we'll have to see if that could be the potential answer. We don't know kind of where they stand with the talent of MPH in this setting, as it does look like it will be MPH on this pit as we go into our button check on this one. So yeah, kind of what we expected to see. It'll be interesting to see how MPH tries to approach this matchup with having to get close to the Kazuya, the arrow, able to do some work, but like you said, not a whole lot, as that is their only ranged option. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I'm something I'm looking out for in this matchup specifically is how Willie will use his electrics. If it will be more of an anti-air option, if it will be an approach, it's hard to say because, again, he has a lot of invincibility on it, so it's good as an approach, but into a pit it's going to be a little different. So we'll see if he's able to get, if he's leading with grabs, if he's leading with electrics, but I'm curious if he'll throw out a lot of electrics or try to save them for moments like this where he's already in your face and is able to capitalize.
Yeah, right now already able to find some connections, trying to find that up air, or up B. I think it's the up special, I think, from the Kazuya there. So trying to find that angle, but can't quite find it as they are able to recover to stage just cleanly. A dash attack coming through. We'll be able to find that first stock.
Okay, so the difference between Dark Pit and Pit, specifically, is the way their arrows move. Pit has really good control over how his arrows move in the air. So once Willie is off stage, watch how MPH uses these arrows to try to punish Willie for using certain abilities, as this could be a dangerous combo. He will absolutely lose his stock for that one right next to the ledge, and Willie is already starting to get some momentum going here.
Yeah, that is tough. Finding the crumple there on the edge will be able to secure, possibly going for just a straight-up spike off of the ledge there, as well as Willie goes back for their recovery. Electric will land. We'll be able to find that jab, but can't combo that up into anything else. Electric landing yet again. But yeah, right now trying to call out the roll, trying to just find any sort of combination, as now we have the Rage Drive up and going here for Willie, as we find Pit off stage.
Yeah, Pit forced to recover here and does get hit with an electric, but also keep an eye on this Rage Drive. That's online. Opts to not use it there, just goes for a normal grab, and the throw off stage is enough. So Willie takes care of business, leaves no doubt 3 stocks, the final player for Full Sail, and puts SU up 1-0 in the series.
Yeah, 1-0 now here in favor of SU, but a lot closer than we initially expected coming into this matchup, especially when we found ourselves with that 9-6 lead. Congo Bongo coming out of left field, able to find plenty of stocks to get SU back into, or excuse me, Full Sail back into the swing of things. So a lot closer than we first thought. And right now I'm thinking, does Eyes get to make an appearance in this series?
Yeah, hard to say, because if set 2 goes anything like set 1, I don't think you can afford to put a sub in. But also, I mean, what is our biggest takeaway from the end of this series? It's that Full Sail on their roster does not have an answer to Kazuya. They lost 0 stocks over the course of this run. He 3 stocks Pit. He makes Bowser SD. And I would not feel any better about Bayonetta or Greninja into Kazuya. Maybe Greninja because he can low-profile electrics. But what my takeaway from that is that Full Sail does not have an answer to Kazuya. And so that's what they're going to have to dig deep and find an answer between these sets is Willie's Kazuya, period.
Yeah, Willie Kazia, definitely the name of the game right now. The big question mark of how does Full Sail deal with that character and that player as a whole. But we will have to wait for just a little bit longer as we will be taking a quick break. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back with set 2.
Shenandoah University is a big little university rising.
With 22 Division III sports teams, over 200 areas of study,
over 300 annual performances, an elite academic esports program,
nationally ranked health professions programs, one of the biggest university presences on Broadway,
immersive AR and VR learning programs,
cybersecurity and computer science programs, and innovative undergrad and graduate programs.
all at a place that cares for you.
Shenandoah University is the big little university rising. Find out more at su.edu/rising.
We have the Esports Arena right here on campus in Winchester, Virginia, and this facility acts as the hub for all esports activity at Shenandoah University. Students are able to use this space not just for competition and practices, but also as a living learning community and a sandbox for them to come and explore and practice and try out things related to and through esports in the gaming industry so that they're getting that hands-on learning and the skills necessary to help them find a career by the time they graduate. We also have the professional level broadcast production booth where we do all of our broadcasting and production, from casting of our games that we play right here on campus to working with outside entities to record footage for them as well. In addition to the space that we have here in the Esports Arena is the Esports War Room. Our students get to use that space for studying, but also outside projects. So our students get to use this space for professional development and the academic side of our esports program, which is such a critical component to go with that competitive element that we have. So we combine all of our facilities at Shenandoah University with competition, community, and career preparation. We have over 250 days of programming, and there's something for everybody, and we want you to be part of it.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the caster room, the booth, if you will, as we prepare ourselves for set number 2 here against Full Sail. We saw a 3-stock to 3-stock ending of that matchup with a clean 3-stock there for Willie up against MPH on the pit, but Full Sail going crazy with Congo Bongo on the Bowser, able to bring them back from the jaws of defeat with an incredible individual run to set Full Sail up for some potential of a comeback.
Yeah, that was really the story of set 1. SU was in the driver's seat the entire time until Congo Bongo came in for the Armada. The big... obviously the set still fell in SU's way, but the big takeaway, we started to say it before the break, is what's the response to Willie? They were not able to take a single stock off of him, and now I have to think that you probably... I think Greninja is... I started to say it, Greninja's probably their best bet, but I don't know that I saw anything from Greninja that really makes me think that he would be able to go head-to-head against Willie 3 stocks into 3 stocks, but also I don't know that we were just talking to the team. I don't know that Full Sail is going to have the choice of who they get into Willie. So we'll have to see, but both of these teams have a blueprint in front of them. SU needs to find an answer to deal with Congo Bongo a bit cleaner, and probably not involve Willie in that solution if possible. And Full Sail needs to find a way, if they make their way to Willie, how do you get through that?
Yeah, I know Igloo mentioned in the break that maybe Greninja is the only answer just because you can low profile that electric, so we'll have to see if that is the play coming through, save Joy Boy all the way to the very end and see if MPH, Entropy, and Congo Bongo can keep up that pace and bring them to that 3 stocks to 3 stocks scenario. I know the Greninja performed well up into Kip, was the response, and was able to get that stock out of the way with only losing. I don't think they lost any. I think it was the Igloo matchup. I can't remember the order in which they were able to find their stocks, but they found a couple regardless for the Greninja. So maybe you just pick that up with MPH and save that one towards the end to go up into the Kazuya. But nevertheless, it's a full reset. Kip looks like the one going to be starting yet again for SU, and we'll have to see what the response is from Full Sail.
Yeah, Greninja. All we got to see out of Greninja was losing 2 stocks to Kip, and then finally knocking Pac-Man out, and then promptly losing to Igloo. So yeah, that doesn't scream to. Obviously, the matchups will be different, but that does not scream, I'm going to go 1v1 into Willie and win.
Right.
So maybe you look to these subs. Maybe you have faith that was a fluke from MPH, and you trust that might be your best player, or at least your best response. One way or another, though, it's a little tough, right? That got close to the end, but in the end, it was not close. Willie was absolutely in control from the moment he picked up his controller. So SU looking to replicate that. Full Sail just looking to find their way in, hopefully, and find a win in set 2, and then maybe put SU on their heels, force them to change a little bit, but got to get there first, 1 stock at a time. Yeah,
1 stock at a time is the name of the game here. I believe we did also see a flash earlier. I think it was going to be the Bayonetta to start things off yet again on the side of Full Sail up against Kip. So nothing new to start this second set. Both teams going with what they felt comfortable with. I know the Bayonetta did look good into that Kip matchup, losing that one only 3 stocks to 1 at the very end. Kip had that one hanging on by a thread and was able to win that one out in the end. So maybe that's where it all comes down, is that Bayonetta is able to secure the opening series opening game win here for Full Sail, saving Greninja the stress of having to go up against that Pac-Man, because as we saw, it did not go very well for Joy Boy in that matchup.
And you raise a good point that I forgot about, that Kip did have a bit of a slow start to that set, and I said it in the moment. I said that after, even though he walked away with a stock in his opening matchup, I said that next time we see him, I imagine he's not going to let that happen again. So he does get that same matchup again to start set 2, and I'm sure he's looking to prove that that was not the result it should have been. But if that's the case, then Full Sail's in that much more trouble again, because yeah, if your winning formula sort of depends on Kip looking a little off, Igloo maybe even looking a little off against Bowser, it's hard to bank on that. And they did get it through one set, but I have to imagine that SU's players are ready to bounce back quick here and take care of business.
Yeah, and Kip is definitely one of those players that doesn't like to not perform. You know, gets very in their own head, like, I can do better than this. I can show that I can perform at a very high level, and we are very knowledgeable and know that this player can do that very, very well, as the aerial string coming through. Not getting as much as they would have liked there for Entropy on the Bayonetta.
Whoa.
Catching the Galaga as well out of that shield, trying to use it for themselves, but can't really combo that into anything else as the Hydrant gets set up there for Kip.
It's such a factor that I don't think gets talked about enough against Pac-Man that, yeah, catching his fruit is one way to really suffocate a Pac-Man's playstyle, but at the same time, when you catch the fruit, what do you do with it? It limits a lot of your own options that you are so comfortable with in your own character. So, I don't know. It's a facet of Pac-Man that I don't think gets talked about enough. Some people are ready for it, some people just aren't, and you know, yeah, sometimes you accidentally catch a Galaga and then you sit there going, well, shoot, like, I don't,
what do I do with this
I don't just
now?
want to get rid of it, but like, what, I can't forward air now, or I can't do other things because I'm just going to throw this fruit instead. So, just an interesting little aspect of Pac-Man.
Yeah, I feel like it's just one of those moments of like, all right, I caught it, that's funny, and get it out of my hand, because I need to actually use my character and
that's
do
a
things
strategy.
with it, right?
Yeah.
And that's definitely a strategy to come into. We've also seen characters and players just hold that for such a long time, because that prevents Pac-Man from actually going for anything else, because once you have one out on the board, you can't do anything else with that cycle that Pac-Man can go through, as we have a very close set to open things up. And as I say that, Kip is able to find that first stock with only 79% getting built up on his own first stock here.
Kip playing a very slow game, making this Bayonetta be the one to approach him. And you can do that in crew battles. I mean, I know it's a little frowned upon in the Smash community to play a game plan like this, but I mean, it's kind of just, you know, the crew battles sort of force you into this type of playstyle. You play to hold on to your stocks, not necessarily to take the opponent's stocks. And Bayonetta is now in a position where she does need to take the opponent's stocks, and that's exactly what Pac-Man is looking for.
Yeah, bell in hand.
Really?
Well, all right. I guess we're just gonna sit here and wait for this one to continue. Trying to just find that forward smash as well. The back air will connect. Won't be able to do anything else with it. The apple used to break that hydrant there, but can't combo that one off of that platform either. But still, it's kind of struggling. Oh, all right. Well, that will be one way to do it. Hydrant into that grab. Nowhere you can really go in that sense for that Bayonetta.
Yeah, I mean, that's a crazy angle on the hydrant, knowing that it would go where it did. I mean, I don't know, I'm a little speechless. We always see new Pac-Man setups every time Kip's on screen, and that one add to the playbook. But Bayonetta finally finds a way to respond with that forward smash. Again, really the only way this Bayonetta has been able to take stocks from Kip is Kip sort of falling into these charged smash attacks. But now Kip resorting back to the game plan. Slow the game down and make Bayonetta approach you, because that's exactly where Pac-Man wants you to be.
It has the Galaga in hand, playing it slow yet again. Going for that grab, can't quite find anything off of it, but yeah, just a very, very slow game one here from, frankly, both of these players, because no one wants to get hit by anything. The hydrant pushing Bayonetta towards that far side. Won't be able to find the connection as the shield does come through. The forward smash as well from Bayo, trying to catch a landing towards the edge. But again, hydrant down immediately and already forming up more Galagas, more apples, whatever it may be for Kip.
I mean, what are we doing? This is something. Kip this is something that I really have not seen Kip do in a crew battle, but it's working. He's clearly learned that this Bayonetta can't quite figure out how to get in safely, how to get in effectively, and what to do once you're in. We have yet to see this entire game, I believe, Bayonetta hit one of those combos to take Pac-Man all the way up to 60%. I mean, it's been a lot of grabs and down throws, and then what? Kip just runs away and sets the hydrant down, and we sit and watch nothing for 30 seconds. Now, Bayonetta up to 130%. Just about anything from Pac-Man would do it. Any fruit, any bell, any key, any apple, just random strays, just like that. Bayonetta ready for it that time. But again, how do you get in? And once you're in, what do you do? Pac-Man whiffs a grab, and what do? You grab the wrong direction. That's not a winning formula for Entropy here. And just like that. Wow. Entropy able to survive that one, but 150%. Surprised me and gets an opportunity but falls out of it. So Pac-Man again now has been under 60% for many minutes now. Granted, Kip is playing extremely campy, but gotta find a solution. And so far, Full Sail has yet to do so.
Yeah, I mean, right now Kip just kind of hanging out, not really doing a whole lot as the hydrant takes a bounce towards the corner. Frankly, just waiting for Bayonetta to approach. Like, he's not even he's not moving. A key getting thrown out there as well. The apple getting tossed down. Now an aerial combination. Kip able to fall out of that one. The orange coming out will connect. Does not have a jump like you say and will not be able to make it back to the ledge. What a slow game to start off this second set.
That's a new one for me. That one is one I have not seen out of Kip, but it's the Pac-Man character, and okay, this actually does carry a lot of weight because I think Kip and the rest of the SU squad sees the opportunity in having Kip go into this Greninja matchup with more stocks, because Kip was absolutely rolling through that matchup, but he only had one stock to work with. So now I think poised to do better into this Greninja, then all of a sudden if Full Sail puts Greninja in and Pac-Man gets the same results that he did last time, Kip has an opportunity to blow this thing open a lot more than it was last time.
Yeah, and that little call out there with the grab with the hydrant going up is just one of those setups is that you can't really go anywhere. You go down, you get hit by the grab, you stay up there, you get hit by the hydrant, and that's kind of it. You just kind of die in that situation, right? You can't do anything. But yeah, Kip able to survive with 2 stocks instead of the one from that first set going into what might be this Greninja. We'll have to wait and see, but yeah, right now, if the Greninja goes in, I can only imagine that Kip is going to win out on this one pretty cleanly.
I want to shout out the amount of... I had 2 people text me on my phone about that matchup, and we had Mossman in the chat say Infinite Warfare might be a modern era game when this match ends. So, for the record, for all of you watching at home, that is not a normal thing for Kip. But again, clearly they saw something in that Bayonetta that they don't see usually, and it's, yeah, what can you do about this? If I sit here and stand still, what is the response? And unfortunately, Entropy couldn't come up with one, and now Full Sail finds himself in a 2-stock hole to kick this thing off.
Yeah, already in SU's favor, right? We did get confirmation that it will be the Greninja Joy Boy to come back in to try to respond to Kip's Pac-Man. We saw that earlier. Didn't go that great. Was not good for Greninja at all. So we'll have to see if they can get this Pac-Man out of the way, or if it's going to be Kip going on a tear with a potential 6 stocks here in this second set.
Right. I think we're on to something here as Kip gets a Heihachi shout out. Yeah, I think we're on to something in that SU saw a window here, and it was if Kip could do better in that first matchup, which, again, I think we all knew that he could, then you get the Greninja again, and you get anything similar to those results, and you blow this thing wide open. So, Kip looking to do exactly that. I don't expect this to be nearly as passive as the matchup we just saw, as we already see Kip getting a little handsy here, and moving in the direction of Greninja instead of away.
Yeah, I mean, that's not something that we could see in that Bayonetta matchup, as the counter's pick is Kalos here, trying to get some home field advantage for the Pokemon player, but that down smash able to send them back. Ooh, almost able to find that two-frame. The ledge cling there, able to slow their recovery time. The grab going just wide, but the up smash unable to connect on the side of Joy Boy, as again off stage goes the Greninja.
Yeah, 124% now. Kip looking for keys to close this thing out. Probably going to hit this hydrant onto the platform. Can't quite do it, but does get one of his setups, and Greninja able to roll out of it as Kip sits in his shield. Another apple goes wide, but Kip's starting to throw out those kill options. Hydrant comes down, but also does not connect. The back air won't do it, but watch the fruit. Is it a key? Ooh. It is. The hydrant goes just a little low too, and Greninja again holding on to this stock and avoiding all of these kill options, knowing what it's going to take for Kip to take it, but that one just not able to avoid them all.
Yeah, Bell able to connect there into that forward air, will be able to seal the deal for that first stock of Joy Boy, as they still continue to try to find an angle. The down smash, the one to come out, and the down air as well. A little mix-up on getting back to stage. Down smash trying to find that two-frame yet again, but still struggling to find any meaningful strings put together. Just some chip damage to put Kip up to this 80% that they find themselves at now, as they continue to throw down hydrants, farm up for fruits, and find any sort of mix-up they can up against this Greninja.
Yeah, this is starting to look pretty similar to the last matchup we saw these two players in, or the last head-to-head we saw these two players in. Good setup there to try to get the footstool into the bell, but well-timed parry there gets Greninja out of both of them. But again, yeah, Kip is still absolutely poised to blow this thing open with 2 stocks left, and now an even-looking percentage as he drops the up air there. Might have been able to take a stock in that moment, but Kip now on the back end here, looking to find his way back to stage. The up air goes wide, and now it's Kip's turn.
Yeah, we see the down tilts into these fair looks coming through from Joy Boy as well, just holding that forward smash as well, just trying to find something to capitalize on with this high percentage. The apple, the backer, able to connect and won't be hit by that one just yet. But yeah, I mean, the gameplay definitely seeming to slow down just a little bit here as both these players get to that high percentage. Greninja still struggling to get anywhere near this Pac-Man right now. The counter coming through on the apple, just trying to stay alive as long as they possibly can.
Yeah, both of these players now starting to throw out their kill options once again, but Pac-Man finds its way home first, and Kip, again, on pace to, quote-unquote, blow this thing open. I mean, I've been saying it the whole time, and now Kip still has not lost his first stock. I mean, a back air here might do it. Does get grabbed. Does Greninja have a kill throw? The answer is no. So Pac-Man still able to recover. You can't quite punish a Pac-Man recovery with that Greninja up B, and just like that, Pac-Man's on stage and building Galaga damage on you.
Yeah, trying to find the kill, but still unable to find any angle. 184% on Kip's first stock here, and right now, Greninja playing what seems to be a little bit scared right now. Doesn't want to get comboed forward, though. That will be able to find the first stock off of Kip, but still so much extra credit. The bell able to connect as well in the air. I mean, Greninja, it looks like a dire situation to try to find this last stock.
Yeah, it's going to take everything that Joy Boy has got here to try to steal this stock off Kip and force the same situation that Volsail was in last time, with Joy Boy getting away with 1 stock and forcing Igloo to come out and play. But oh no! Okay. Hard read there from Kip, but not ready with the follow-up. Does get a grab here and a back throw. Might do it. It won't quite finish it off. Bell comes out. Pac-Man starting to set up the ledge trap, uses the hydrant, but Greninja opts to go high and safely escapes. But now up to 150%. Pac-Man looking for grabs, and a back throw you have to think would do it this time.
Yeah, farming up some fruits is Pac-Man. Has the orange in hand, trying to get some fairs together as well. Finding the recovery back to the ledge and back to stage. The counter comes through, and that is a free grab for the Pac-Man. The back throw will be able to find that kill, and Kip makes his way through the first 6.
And I have to imagine that that was the game plan in the 5-minute timeout between sets, that SU saw the vision of, hey, Kip did underperform the first time. If he can do better, then we get Kip all the way to player 3, and he gets a shot at Bowser, and all of a sudden this Bowser has to deal with all 4 players potentially from SU. And just like that, they found their way exactly into that game plan.
Yeah, 10-6 now, the stock total in favor of SU. The Bayonetta, the Greninja already out of the way, so you have to assume this is going to be Congo Bongo on the Bowser to come through for Full Sail. I feel like that makes the most sense with the performance that Congo Bongo was able to have. But then again, MPH unable to do a whole lot in the anchor position either. Granted, did have to meet up against Willie in that one, as we do have confirmation that it will be the Bowser to come through for Full Sail.
Yeah, so again, no surprises here, but all of a sudden, this strategy from SU has now placed all the pressure in the world on this Bowser to quite possibly match up into all 4 SU players, and maybe take at least 1 stock off of all of them. I mean, we'll see, but it might mean 1 off this Pac-Man, doing exactly what you did last time of taking 3 off Igloo, 3 off AJ, and then maybe trying to get 1 off Willie this time around. That's a heavy burden to bear. So I think it's smart, it's good awareness, it's good vision from the SU coaching staff to sort of find this game plan. Again, it all does boil down to Kip's execution, though, as well. Kip finding himself in this position through his own gameplay and is now rewarded with an opportunity at Congo Bongo.
Congo Bongo, indeed.
Congo Bongo.
The Congo Bongo. But yeah, so the Bowser looked really, really good in that first set. We were talking to some of the guys out during the break as well, and they were saying, like, yeah, Bowser's like a heavyweight. He's the heaviest character in the game, but also like top 10 run speed. Like, this is just like a weird character to have to go against. And we saw the kill power of this character as well. The forward tilt killing it 97% on the ledge. The backer able to connect and kill. I believe that one was around 88% on that first stock up against AJ. So it'll be up to Kip to set up some good scenarios for the SU remaining players. But yeah, I feel like Kip can really mix this one up just because of the play style that Pac-Man has, being able to farm up Galaga's, the bigger body to try to combo off of, as well as we hop into this next matchup. The up tilt already able to connect a little bit of damage with some Nair. Going for that grab off rip is Congo Bongo, but unable to do anything with that as it does go just wide.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see if Kip's able to get a stock in this matchup or not. That's really all I'm looking out for. I can't assume that he will take more than that, but again, Pac-Man is one of those characters that can really thrive into this heavyweight, just like we talked about Kazuya. Not quite as overwhelming as Kazuya, but the problem with Pac-Man, though, is that he's a bit more susceptible to this Bowser damage, these Bowser kill moves, because now, yeah, like if Kip gets off stage and Bowser catches a neutral get up with a forward tilt, Kip might just blow up. So that's exactly. Look at this. See, if we get a forward tilt, it does not quite land. So Kip's able to get away with this one, but does get side bead, will not land on a platform. Still not even particularly close to taking the stock, but percentage keeps rising. And just like that,
there is the back air, able to find that kill for the Bowser. Kip now off the board and out of the way for Full Sail. Congo Bongo coming up yet again with a set win, or I guess a match win there. Granted, that was a 3 stocks to 1 stocks in favor of Congo Bongo. But yeah, now what's the response? Do you put AJ in here? Is this a potential opportunity for Eyes to come in? I'm not entirely sure. Oh my goodness. Willie is sitting down and has picked Kazuya.
Interesting. Okay, well, we said it in set 1 that we don't really see Willie come out of the anchor position unless it's to put out a fire. And I guess SU has deemed that Congo Bongo is a fire, which I don't have a problem with, actually, knowing that the 2 remaining players for Full Sail are Congo Bongo and likely MPH again. Yeah, I mean, we just saw Willie go 4 stocks uncontested into them last set. Why even go through the trouble of giving Full Sail reason to believe that they're still in this. I like the aggressive approach from SU, but Full Sail is going to have to dig deep now in their bag of tricks to find their answer to this Kazuya.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the SU is trying to end this game right now. They want to take 6 stocks, not even worry about it, and have this be done and dusted. 9 stocks to 6 is where we found ourselves the last time when Igloo came in on the Yoshi, but yeah, this just seems like a big power move coming through from SU, being like, hey, we don't think you can beat Willie. We don't think you guys can get through 3 stocks cleanly with 2 players remaining, and we're going to see if we can call you out on it and see if they can just come out with a series win here as we hop into this match.
Yeah, so Congo Bongo was the hot hand last time, and we were somewhat robbed of a proper matchup between these 2 players as Willie was able to take advantage,
Dang,
oh my
man.
lord, of a misinput in the air dodge off stage, leading to Congo Bongo's first stock being lost last time. This time around, though, pure execution. He's going to look to do the exact same thing again. Some good DI there to drift away from the ledge, but a back throw sends him off stage, and if that laser connects, the super armor on the down smash confirms another stock, and this is exactly what we were talking about all the way from before this set even started. This is what Kazuya does into Bowser's.
This is pretty much exactly what we saw. 2 stocks off rip out already. The side B will be able to grab Kazuya, but there's only 42% built up on this first stock. Spot dodge is there. The electric connects, and now the up air won't be able to find the angle. Electric yet again will be able to find the kill, and only 42% built up in 3 stocks, and that was 1 minute and 5 seconds.
So,
Yikes.
So, okay, we don't even have enough time to unpackage everything I just saw there, but one, Willie was absolutely just throwing out electrics because they were, 1 or 2 of them were clanking. They just outright beat Bowser's up B. We might see it on the last replay, but again, I mean, this is what Kazuya does to Bowser's. I mean, look at that. Why does that work? Look, there's nothing to say about that. Fire has been extinguished, and now Willie gets, again, a 3 stock situation into likely MPH.
Yeah, we did get that it was same player coming in for MPH, but this time a little switch up. Dark Pit is the one coming through. Pretty much the exact same character with just less arrow control. It just goes like up and sideways and does more damage. But yeah, so it will be MPH the one to find themselves yet again in this anchor position, but this time, well, not this time, up into Willie again, but this time with 6 stocks still remaining after Willie's 3 stocks.
Yeah, so there's actually 2 differences between Pit and Dark Pit. It's the arrows, and technically Dark Pit's side B gets extra armor, I think, compared to Pit. But the big difference in the arrows, you kind of saw it the first time around. Pit, all right, follow my pen. You ready? We're going to do a demonstration.
Oh, yeah.
Pit shoots an arrow, and then he can input on his stick while the arrow's in the air to make the arrow, like, literally do whatever he wants in the air. If Dark Pit shoots an arrow this way, he can either, like, hold up or down, and the arrow will just, like, drift in that direction, but he can't, like, full control that thing. So... Thank you for coming to my demonstration there.
Well done.
But so Dark Pit's arrows hit a little bit harder, and they have just like, the hits done accordingly. But that's really it. This is not a massive change up for Willie, especially. Like, it's not like you have to adapt your game plan much at all going into this character. And again, Kazuya's body, upper half of his body, is invincible for about 80% of the game. Yep. So what does a Pit do? You can't really falling aerial on him. We saw Willie crouch dash through a grab in the last time these 2 players played. So like, what do you do?
Yeah, I mean, already we can see how patient Willie is playing, just waiting for MPH to approach them, finds the grab into an electric immediately. We'll get 1 jab in, and still, I mean, that's 52%, and they hit maybe 4 different things. As MPH is able to get a little bit of momentum back in their favor, but the laser coming out, able to help them on that recovery towards that stage. Air dash to the side as well, but already the Dark Pit looking a lot better than that normal pit, I will say, in this matchup, even though we haven't really seen some of the things that really make this Dark Pit different from that regular pit.
Yeah, shout out to Town and City for having a tall blast zone, because otherwise Pit would be dead right now. But Rage Drive Online, and already this matchup looking closer than it was last time, and you have to take what you can get if you are Full Sail in this situation. The fact that neither player has died yet, and we have this Kazuya over 120% still with their Rage Drive is a good sign. Now, unfortunately, jumping and getting caught by Kazuya's up B is not the trajectory I'm sure they had going for themselves. As no, okay. In previous Smash games, he would have died there, but not in Ultimate, as he is still able to recover after that. And just like that, a down throw into the, I believe that was a forward air.
That was forward, yeah.
But either way, ties this thing up, 2 stocks 0-0% before Willie starts to get the percentage rolling again.
Yeah, still some great strings coming through from MPH. The dash attack is there as well, trying to call out that high recovery. One electric connecting, but able to jump away from that one is MPH. But yeah, this is just oh my god! That was 3 electrics in a row, then right into the side smash as well. Just trying to wait for any opening, any approach coming through from MPH to just capitalize on that with an electric to the face and find a stock off of it.
He's electricking through the arrows, because I think no. Willie goes all the way up top and finds the down air to send, or a sour spot down air to send Dark Pit all the way off stage. But again, a quick response to tie this thing back up. Willie taunts.
Well, there was a teabag at the end of that too from the pit as well.
Okay, yeah, both the players feeling the pressure of the moment as Dark Pit's starting to find a train of his own. Watch the platform. If they start to run away, they don't. And now it's Willie's turn. He gets a combo, and the platforms are gone. The platforms are not here to bail him out. But okay, Willie does struggle, or is not able to confirm that combo into a kill, but still, I mean, just like that, what looked like such a strong start to this stock is quickly responded, and just like that, he gets to charge his up smash and find a kill, and SU walks away with 7 stocks still in hand and a 2-0 undefeated season still alive.
Yeah, I mean, that is the way to close out a set there. A little bit of back and forth in that last 3 stocks to 3 stocks, but in the end, it's the electric into the up smash to seal the deal and advance SU to that 4-0 standing through what was the hardest part of this group as well. So SU, man, they are looking good this year.
Yeah, it really did feel like Full Sail was going to be the last team to hold a candle to this SU squad. I mean, their first 3 weeks were the big names, the big players in this group, and SU came out 3-0. So it felt like if one team was going to stop them, it would have to be Full Sail. And they came a little close in set 1. They kept that thing close, and they brought it all the way to both teams' last players. That was 4 stocks to 3 in favor of Full Sail at one point, but in the blink of an eye, it all evaporates, and SU walks away with another win today.
Yeah, Full Sail now find themselves at 2-2 in the group. Not necessarily a bad spot to be by any means. So, yeah, I mean, props to all of the players who played today. Unfortunate that we weren't able to see Eyes in this substitution role. Would have liked to see that Palutena player get some experience and some play here in this series, but nevertheless, there's still 4 matches at the very least to go, so I definitely expect to see Eyes at some point here this semester.
Yeah, I would hope so, but I do think part of today was that was a surprise. I think SU knew that they were in a position to win comfortably, and when set 1 was not a comfortable win, all of a sudden, all right, we'll find another time. We've got other opportunities to give Eyes some playtime later down in the season, because again, this season for SU is so front-loaded, so there will be more opportunities for Eyes to come in, but just not today.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. As we take a quick look at our MVP of the series here, it's Willie. Surprise, surprise. 10 stocks taken, 2 stocks lost. That is a pretty dangerous Kazuya. Very, very good stuff coming through from our anchor player here for the SU Hornets Smash Bros squad. So yeah, great stuff all around from this player.
Yeah, can't complain. And again, the big problem was Full Sail just didn't seem to have an answer for this guy, and we've got him on the desk now. Welcome to our domain, Willie. Very impressive win. Very impressive showing from you, especially not losing a single stock until that very, very last matchup. What were you seeing in all of those matchups, and what looks were you getting from Full Sail? Because it looked like you had complete control every time.
I honestly think it was a little unfortunate for them because I think Bowser and like Pit are two of my most I'd say dangerous matchups. Definitely Bowser for the reason that I truly do think Bowser is like one of the Kazuya's 5 best matchups for a couple of reasons. He's big, he's heavy, he gets hit by everything. A lot of the things that help Bowser a lot in that matchup are very one-sided. Like, they don't work as well as they normally would against certain characters, like his run speed, his aerial presence, because I can just sort of electric all of it. Additionally, he has this very weird property where it's exclusive to heavyweights for some reason. When I electric on his shield, it has a 25% chance of actually tripping Bowser out of the shield. So not only can he not attack me, he also cannot shield me, and grabbing runs a risk of an electric. So it's like I have every option of rock, paper, scissors covered. It's such a hard matchup for Bowser. I've played it a lot against a lot of very good Bowsers, and it's very, very difficult. In terms of like Pit and Dark Pit, this is actually a strange story. I started getting into this game like I want to say freshman year of like my high school experience, and I had this player that was in some of my classes, and it turns out later that he had been like an MDVA player for a while there, and he played Dark Pit. So in my formative years of like junior and senior year of like high school learning Smash Brothers, the one person I would play with for years and years, like every day at lunch, was a Dark Pit player. So I had a lot of time to learn how that matchup works. It's very strange. Everything should work on paper, but Kazuya has so many things that make it so much harder, like invincibility of crouch dash, invincibility of grab, just a lot of things that make it very difficult for very difficult for Pit and Dark Pit to actually get much started.
Yeah, I mean, you felt like you were in complete control of that series, right? Now, what was going through the team's head in set number 1 when Congo Bongo kind of went on a little bit of a tear there, right? We were talking to Igloo a little bit before that. We might have seen eyes coming into this series, but with how close that set 1 got, what was kind of going through your mind going to set 2 and being like, all right, how are we going to counter this player and how are we going to handle things moving forward?
Ultimately, I think it was sort of a situation of, yes, he gave us some trouble last time. During our break, we were talking a little bit more about what went wrong, and we had a lot of ideas how to like counter it. But I think in this instance specifically, because of the work that Kyle was able to put in, we didn't really see any reason not to just sort of send me in, deal with the matchups that I know and have been playing for like years and years. And we figured if things went badly from there, we might try out Eyes, we might try out Avery on like a different character or something like that. But it just didn't really come to that. Yeah, no, I mean 100%. I also want to put the kind of on the fun note, towards the end there of that series, saw a little teabag and then a taunt off of you right out of the gate. What was kind of that? Was that just kind of just for fun, like, oh, this is kind of coming towards an end and we're just kind of for funning this last stock? What was that kind of mindset coming through? I think a lot about the psychological aspect of fighting games, and I think the ability to use something like a teabag or something, it's like you're using your movement and stuff to crouch, but ultimately it's like trying to send a message through. I just don't think it really worked. Normally the idea of that sort of thing is to sort of throw people off mentally, but I think in a position like that, I wasn't really worried that things were going to go badly, not only because I'm familiar with the matchup, but because we have so many players in the back. And I sort of just saw it as like this sort of last Hail Mary attempt to like try to throw me off in any sort of way. And when that happens, I always like to throw a taunt back just to let them know that like I'm also in the same position they are. I'm not like letting it get to me. Because normally what you'd expect to be the situation is when someone taunts, you'd expect a reaction out of the other person to be like bad. But in reality, what the other person wants is to see me not do anything, to be like, okay, now he's mad, so now I'm going to play against him better because he's not playing his best. When I throw that back, it immediately lets them know this isn't going to work. That's not going to happen here. In addition, I think it helps a lot because Kazuya has some very scary taunts. Like his taunt like of the purple aura effect as he turns into his demon is one of my favorite, because it doesn't look like a taunt at all. It just looks like he's getting ready to kill you, and that's exactly what happened.
That is exactly what happened. I've got one more question for you before we wrap things up.
Of course.
Through 4 weeks, You guys are 4-0. This schedule was very front-loaded for you guys, and I feel like a lot of the hurdles of the season are now behind you. What's going through your mind? How's the team feeling going forward, and where do you see this team ending up?
I definitely see us going to NACE playoffs as long as we're able to continue this going forward. We do have some semi-tough opponents coming up, but I think the first 3 weeks especially of our competition were some of the most intense matches I've played for Shenandoah, and I was very happy we were able to come out with a win on that, not only because, we were able to win, but also because it put us my bad, I'm talking too fast.
Yeah, you're good.
It put us in a very good position for playoffs, because now that we have that, it's just on making sure we do what we have been doing, and we keep this momentum up to hopefully finish the season undefeated in NACE, which I do think is possible as long as we're able to just keep making it work. I'm very proud of this team and what we've accomplished so far, and I know we can make this last bit happen.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have been playing great all year long thus far. Congratulations on the win. Congratulations going 10-2 here in this series as well. That'll be it for us here. Drop a like, drop a follow, comment, whatever you may want to do wherever you guys are watching. Love the Red Sox, hate the Yankees, # dirty water, and we will see you next week.
Awesome.
Shenandoah University is a big little university rising.
With 22 Division III sports teams, over 200 areas of study,
Over 300 annual performances, an elite academic esports program,
Nationally ranked health professions programs, one of the biggest university presences on Broadway.
immersive AR and VR learning programs,
Cybersecurity and computer science programs, and innovative undergrad and graduate programs.
all at a place that cares for you.
Shenandoah University is the big little university rising. Find out more at su.edu/rising.
We have the Esports Arena right here on campus in Winchester, Virginia, and this facility acts as the hub for all esports activity at Shenandoah University. Students are able to use this space not just for competition and practices, but also as a living learning community and a sandbox for them to come and explore and practice and try out things related to and through esports in the gaming industry so that they're getting that hands-on learning and the skills necessary to help them find a career by the time they graduate. We also have the professional level broadcast production booth where we do all of our broadcasting and production, from casting of our games that we play right here on campus to working with outside entities to record footage for them as well. In addition to the space that we have here in the Esports Arena is the Esports War Room. Our students get to use that space for studying, but also outside projects. So our students get to use this space for professional development and the academic side of our esports program, which is such a critical component to go with that competitive element that we have. So we combine all of our facilities at Shenandoah University with competition, community, and career preparation. We have over 250 days of programming, and there's something for everybody, and we want you to be part of it.